or our business plan is very clear. We will increase our fleet by 2030 to at least 100 A220-300s, and we focus only on that aircraft type. We are the largest operator of it, and with the current order book we hold more than 10% of all A220s in the world. So that's the key what airBaltic does. We are in the Baltics, expanding also outside the Baltics in the Nordics, and that's our task. On any transatlantic flying, what we see is that we have so many passengers now which we transport to Riga as a hub, where it would be very easy today to fill an aircraft, and also the demand in the Baltics for direct US connectivity is already there. Us doing it with an A220-300 is not possible because we have the aircraft is just not the right aircraft to fly, because it could reach it but only with 16 passengers. So somebody would have to do that, either somebody who exists in Europe or a US carrier sees, and here mainly Riga because that is the largest in the Baltic states. But of course it could also happen in Lithuania, where there's also ambition to have a direct US connectivity. What I say is that there should be a direct link between the Baltic states and the US, mainly New York. Toronto looks interesting from the numbers, also Washington, for political reasons, but also for the travelers. Again, airBaltic doing it from today's point of view, we focus solely on the now very successful model on flying A220-300s, but with that we can feed any long-haul carrier, anybody who would want to do that. And there would be the US carriers who, like JetBlue for example, doing a very successful narrow-body operation into Europe. But then we have companies like Norse, used to be Norwegian, doing such a model, or maybe a traditional carrier from Europe saying, okay, we see a demand from the Baltics to serve the US. So I'm a very strong supporter. We have enough passengers which we deliver to the Baltic airports. It just needs somebody to do it, because we do not have that currently in our business plan. As we are the market leader in the Baltic states, we successful with Tampere stepped outside and opened a hub there, became immediately the market leader because it's not a heavily penetrated airport. We did in Gran Canaria last year an exercise by having a temporary base, basing 2 aircraft there and serving the Nordics, not necessarily only Baltics. That has been so successful that we started it again this year, so we're on sale for that seasonal base. And based on that, we are now looking at airports where we can serve what we have built in the Nordics, a very strong brand, also outside the Baltics, and we will be serving the Nordics either from bases outside the Nordics and flying there, or then the Nordics itself, because the expansion of our fleet comes also with additional aircraft, not only being based in the Baltics. But also important, the key for our growth, if we look at total numbers, will still be the Baltics, because we see a lot of opportunity. We have only 2 aircraft in Vilnius today. We have only 3 in Tallinn. There will be more aircraft in these 2 airports and of course in Riga. And then we have something which we always eye at. We have the whole of the Ukraine. Potentially, if there is an opening of the airspace again after a peace, then airBaltic would be first airline back in, and that is a market which in size is much larger than the Baltics as a market. So therefore airBaltic, being the last airline out, wants to be the first in again. That is a potential upside. Yeah, we are looking into all expansion elements of an airline. So we have a training center with today 1 A220 simulator. We are looking adding the 2nd simulator just because of the amount of training we need to do for our pilots. Plus we have a pilot academy where the new pilots are coming through our own academy. On the technical side, same thing. We are recruiting hundreds of technicians. We have also a technical academy where we now educate mechanics to be qualified mechanics over the years together with universities. And then at the end of the day, we are occupying nearly all hangar space in Riga today. We have a large project, a maintenance hangar, the largest in the Baltic states, with 8 lines of maintenance for A220s, which should be ready in about 2 years' time to move in. That is one of the projects. Because if you go from 50 aircraft by the end of this year to 100 aircraft in 2030, you also need to ramp up on the training and on the maintenance facilities.
This video is sponsored by the Airline Employee Shop. Use the code Airways10 at checkout for 10% off your next purchase at airlineemployeeshop.com.